Okay. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to our fourth mentoring conference call in this sixth call series for Toastmasters. My name is Patricia Wagner, and I'm your facilitator for these calls. The path to Toastmasters can only be described in one way by our presenter, and I quote him: kicking and screaming all the way to the lectern, at least until you get there. Then the light goes on, and you realize that you are there for the mission of presenting a concept or delivering a message that will help people along their Toastmaster path. This fourth mentoring conference call is entitled, "Oh, the Places We Will Go." A charter member of Talk of the World Toastmasters, a charter member of Toasting Ocala Toastmasters, help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Greg Wise. Welcome, Greg.
Boy, I tell you what, Patricia, I only wish I had some applause to go with that nice introduction. Thank you very much.
Well, we're applauding in our hearts, that's for sure.
But really the way I like to look at it is the places we can go. We might be able to go if we really want to, but can go really means a lot. And like Patricia said, this is the fourth segment of a six-part series of mentoring conference calls. Patricia's doing a wonderful job working on a high-performance leadership program, and I'm very grateful that she asked me to help in this endeavor. Like she mentioned, I'm Greg Wise. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster, and believe it or not, I sort of looks like that this evening with headphones on and a microphone in my face, ready to go. Some of the little housekeeping things we need to do. I've actually got everybody live right now, but if everybody gets a little too noisy, I'm going to go ahead and mute you out, which means your microphone right here will probably turn to a red color if I decide to do that. You can also click on this little button that basically shows you who all is on the actual call this evening. And this little icon here is actually you can chat between. I think I left you a little message that said we'll be starting in just a few minutes. So that's essentially the way the program works here, and it's very comfortable and easy to work with. So let's get on with it. As soon as I find that color code. There we go, erase. All right, the places we can go. Well, I look at it as a road map, and essentially I've put up here a whole bunch of road condition signs, steep grades. You just never know where you're going to go and what you're going to experience. So I've broken it down into a simple path, what I would determine is a road map, so to speak. Your home club, your area, your division, your district, and essentially District Toastmasters International in itself. So let's take a look. Your home club is obviously the most comfortable place you have. Your introduction to Toastmasters International comes from your home club, your first impression of how leadership works, your 10 speeches, leadership roles learned, and helping with contests and special programs. And yeah, I put it down there. The very first contest you ever do has got to be the scariest one of all. You do 2 or 3 speeches, you listen and you learn, and then all of a sudden somebody comes up and says, "Hey, why don't you join a contest?" Well, you've got 2 or 3 speeches under your belt, so it can't be all that bad. But when somebody's judging you, and there are contest masters out there judging your speech against others, it can be the most terrifying time in Toastmasters. It's scary the first time. I remember what I went through. And when you're done with your speech, you just, I've heard it said many times, there's 3 speeches you give in Toastmasters: the one you write, the one you deliver, and when you sit down, the one you wish you delivered. So let's take a look at actually being in a contest or helping in a contest. Now you step outside your comfort club level to an area. Areas in this realm is made up of a group of Toastmasters clubs in the area, and we're here in Ocala, so we're in a group or an area of 6 other Toastmasters group. So when we do a contest, we have a winner at a club level. They go on to an area level, and those 6 clubs will come together and actually do a contest. So you have the ability to grow your learning skills by attending a conference and being a judge or possibly a contest master. Or if you were lucky to win your club event, you're now speaking at the area level. The comfort gets a little tougher because these are people that you're not familiar with, let's say. When you get to division, and let's say we've had that area contest and you've now won the area contest, you're going on to what we call a division. A division is broken up in Toastmasters itself, our district that we'll be talking about in just a minute, but essentially into a grouping of 9 divisions in our District 84. Our Division G essentially extends basically across the center of the state from East Coast to West Coast. So it's a fairly large division. So you're helping. Maybe you're a contest master, maybe you're a judge, maybe you're a timer, or if you've won your area contest, you're now in the contest portion of the division and competing to go on to that next level. Does it get a little tougher? Absolutely. The competition is tougher, a little bit more pressure, but hey, look, we're Toastmasters. We can deal with it. When you get to the district, and we are part of District 84, which is essentially Jacksonville to Tallahassee, all the way to the western parts of Florida, the Panhandle, and down just past Orlando, almost to Sebring, which covers the entire state. So thinking about that, if you've won your club contest and you win your area contest, and then you get to division, and you've won that. The next step is the district conference. All your training, all your Toastmasters education, all comes from this District 84 program. So let's take a look at District 84. There is so much information located at District 84 or Toastmasters D84.org from our new DTMs, new clubs, and then you'll notice Toasting Ocala is one of the new clubs that have come in. The Smedley Awards, which has to do with membership. Anything in our district is located on this website. We have an incredibly good webmaster and keeps up with it very, very strongly. So anything you want to know about Toastmasters, it's right here. If it's not on here, ask, and probably somebody missed it, and we'll get it up. So what is Toastmasters in District 84 all about? Well, you've heard about fun. Well, we have fun. In the spring and the fall, we do conferences where we all get together. Those that want to have fun, I guess is the way to say it. And we have a district conference, spring and fall. The one for spring is actually the International Speech Contest and also table topics. Now, I remember my first spring conference that I went to. I was a brand new Toastmaster. I was trying to get involved in Toastmasters itself, and I decided to go to the conference and see what this was all about. Well, I came away with a totally different attitude of Toastmasters. These people were friendly. They were not over-the-top speakers. I remember coming away with the thought pattern, wow, I actually speak better than him, and he's a DTM. So I knew right away I wanted to become a distinguished Toastmaster. So at our spring conference, we will have table topics on Friday night, and Friday night is more of a fun evening event. Everybody dresses up, so obviously if we're talking about TV flashback this year, we'll actually be all dressed up and presented in, I don't know, what comes to mind is I Love Lucy, maybe Mr. Ed, maybe one of your favorite TV flashback shows. So come dressed. Believe me, everybody does. When you get there, This is the typical thing on Saturday night. Fun, fun, fun. The program starts with entertainment. You sit down for dinner and you never know what's going to come out of Toastmasters. This last conference was, the spring conference itself was Broadway bound.
You can listen to it.
The gentleman to the right, I say gentleman to the right, that's Monty Ray Davidson. He was our 2013 International Speech Contest winner, and he did the presentation. So he came in dressed as none other than Mary Poppins. And along the way, everybody kind of chimed in with the opening number, including our dear friend Dennis Woolbridge singing The Sound of Music. It's something for everybody, and it's very, very enjoyable. So we've talked about speech contests and getting to that next level. And I typically will tell people when you get to that district level, be prepared. You've obviously gone through a club level, you've gone through area, you've gone through division, and when you get to that level, you're stepping onto a brand new stage. This is actually a shot of Saturday night's formal dinner and the International Speech Contest. So you're standing in front of roughly 400 people. And you just need to know that they're all friends, they're all Toastmasters, and they're there to hear an international speech that just puts you in the mood for entertainment. It is a formal night, so you dress formal, suits and ties. You can obviously, some of these pictures are very formal with tuxes. We have nothing but fun. The International Speech Contest to the left, the winner is presented the trophy, and from that point, they're going on to the International Speech Contest. Probably the highlight of that evening for those that get their Toastmasters designation that night, you are awarded the Toastmasters, and they have what's called the Distinguished Toastmaster Walk. All the Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters in the room create like a tunnel effect. You're presented with your medal, and you walk down being greeted by your peers of Toastmasters that evening. It's one of those experiences that lasts with you for a long, long time, and you look forward to it at every conference. So when the conference is over, you obviously have to blame somebody. So we pick somebody, and oh boy, are they in for a good one. So think about conference, think about spring conference. The one thing that I remember going to my first conference is that when I came away from the conference, the next conference I was excited to go to, and I cannot tell you how many people remembered who I was and called me by name. Now, we talked about going from club to club. Our District 84 has what's called a club ambassador. And it's simply enough, if you go to 3 or 4 clubs, you present to the district a club ambassador form that's located, surprisingly, on District 84 Club website. You present the form, and you become a club ambassador. You're presented in front of the group as a new ambassador, and you're out there talking about Toastmasters. So how do you find clubs to go visit? Now, everybody likes to travel and have fun. So if you went to toastmastersinternational.org and you find that little button called Find a Club, this screen will open up. And ultimately, to find a club, you just have to click on the button. Let me clear my little note here. And we're actually going to go outside to the web, I thought. Maybe not. Okay, here we go. No. So anyway, if you went to that button and you clicked Find an Area or Find a Club, you would be able to go to an area that you're looking at. And the example I was going to present tonight was Inverness, Florida. And in a 25-mile radius, you'd find 4 clubs. But if you go back to that, enter a specific location and put Inverness, Scotland, you would find 1 club. You could expand the radius to what you're looking for. So when I do planning on vacations, I love to go to other Toastmasters to see how they do meetings, how they present, what they do to have fun, and how they do their meetings. It's a real learning experience. So taking advantage of that Ambassador Club is a major portion of it. So when we present a speech contest and we have a winner, what's the next step for them? It is actually the International Speech Contest. International Speech Contest, when we present the winner in the spring, goes on to the International Contest. And essentially this year, it's being housed at the Caesars Palace Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. So do we have fun? Absolutely. Last year, Malaysia. The winner of our District 84 contest, all expenses paid by the district to go to the contest. Now, I told you about Monty Ray Davidson in 2013. Monty Ray made it to the finals. He was one of 9 people in the world to make it to that stage for the final competition. It's quite an honor to get there, and it's quite an event to attain. So, Patricia, I think we've taken them on a little tour of where and the places we can go. We just have a little bit of motivation to get there. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. I love this model that you're using to explain further your call and the material you're presenting. I have to say, I plan to be at my first district conference this spring, and I also have plans now to go to my first international conference in Las Vegas.
Had to be the Las Vegas hook, right?
Yes, absolutely, and it's inexpensive to fly there and back, so that was a motivator too. But the thing I would also like to comment on, as you said about the contests, in my own experience, I've only entered 1 international speech contest, and it was quite a learning experience for me, and I enjoyed it. First at the club level, and to win that, then to the area and win that, and then competing in the district. And I think you were there. I think Jane Potter was there. I see Jane's on the line here. It was quite the experience for me to learn how to get better each time I presented, and all the practice that it takes to do that. Every time I could see the improvement in my talk.
That's an interesting topic that you brought up, because I actually blew right over the top of it. When you go to the district conferences, it's not just about speech Friday night, speech Saturday night, and go home. All day Saturday morning, there's a series of workshops. And these are Toastmasters presenting their specialties to other Toastmasters. So ultimately, you're evaluating an excellent speaking Toastmaster presenting what they're presenting, and you can volunteer just the same way to do a presentation on Saturday morning as a workshop person or a presenter. And it's an awesome experience to stand in front of 50 Toastmasters that are listening to you present what you are there to present, and it's an awesome feeling. And not to upstage what you were going to say next, Patricia, but I just don't want anyone to forget that these 2 dates are coming up. If you want to kind of go over those.
The spring conference you're talking about?
Actually, on your screen, you should actually see the don't forget the upcoming dates for your March 9th and the March 30th. Did that not come up?
I have a find a club near you form.
Oh, wow. We must have, I must have bumped something.
That's okay. And the other thing, Greg, you might want to talk a little bit about is the trainings, the district trainings, because I have enjoyed those immensely and benefited from them.
The TLI training?
Yes.
Okay, 2 times a year in the spring and the fall, we have what is called a TLI, Toastmaster Leadership Institute. One is happening in Jacksonville and one happens in Orlando twice,
Yes.
2 times per year. And it's a way that they bring all the officers of the clubs together to train what's new. And a lot of times Toastmasters are not right in tune with, let's say, being a president of a Toastmasters club. So there again, Toastmasters train Toastmasters how to be better Toastmasters. And that experience just funnels down big time into it. It's also part of your distinguished club program that Jane will be talking about the end of March and what that represents to your club and how that actually works. So kind of stay tuned with that one. But the TLI is a great experience, and it's all about connecting with people and essentially connecting with other Toastmasters. We've all struggled for speeches. We've all struggled for connection. You know, they say one of the worst things in life is the fear of public speaking. Well, it's a whole lot easier behind a screen with a headset on and a microphone, but to stand up in front of 50 people and deliver a message is really strong. And you learn that all in Toastmasters.
And you learn it in front of an audience that are there to support you. What I find so rewarding in Toastmasters is the support network, whether it's at the club level or beyond. Everybody's there. All the Toastmasters are there to support you. And proof in point is actually this High Performance Leadership Project, where you and Jane and the other speakers just came together, and the synergy that was created by all of us working together to put on this program, this mentoring conference call program, is phenomenal. It's turning out greater than I ever expected. So.
Well, you should be commended for what you're doing. That high performance leadership program is a tough thing to do. And it's one of those things that all of a sudden, as you get to that final level to get your DTM and this big award that everybody tends to gravitate to, you're also all of a sudden thinking, I've got to do a high performance leadership program. And I've never seen one done like this, Patricia, so you should be commended on how you're doing it and the presentation that's happening. And I thank you for allowing me to give you a few headaches over the last few days. But it's been fun, and it's been a pleasure helping you.
Oh, this is a phenomenal format, and I'm so glad that you suggested it, because it really tops a presentation hands down to have a visual go along with what the speaker is talking about. So I definitely, I'm hooked. You've hooked me on this program.
For as little as $29.95. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's been a pleasure to be with you all this evening. And any questions you guys have, I see some other microphones up, which means you got a live talkability.
Questions from our participants?
You know, Patricia.
Diane and Jane?
Pardon?
Do you have a question for Greg?
No, I just want to say it was a fabulous presentation. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And the visuals are just, that's the icing.
Well, thank you, Jane. I appreciate that. It's kind of nice.
I told everyone you would be entertaining. And
I stumble through everything, but make it fun. We talked
How
about
you, Diane? Do you have a question for Greg? I guess not.
We had that DTM. We had the DTM walk that I talked about, and it was such a interesting event to do. And Jane and I had this little so-called competition going of who was going to get it first. And we virtually closed at about the same time frame, and it was such a pleasure to be able to walk that DTM walk with Jane. We got our pictures taken, and it was quite an event to connect yourself with. And to any Toastmaster out there looking at completing the task of becoming a distinguished Toastmaster, there's no better feeling than to have who you look up to now be level with you. Obviously, I don't have the abilities of some of those professional presenters, but by golly, we still have fun no matter what.
I bet that was a phenomenal walk.
You'll get there.
I'm hoping.
You will never, ever forget the walk. And Greg and I, it was within days that we finished at the same time and walked the same meeting.
Wow.
The interesting thing about that DTM walk is the spring conference is when all the DTMs really focus, because you do have to do a years of leadership with the District 84. So your fall conference is where a lot of them happen, but the spring conference is where the most of them happen. If you look at the District 84 website, that's toastmasterd84.org, and you look at the list of new DTMs just in the last, well, since the last conference. They stay up until the spring, and it's an awesome group. And you start to see people that you've listened to for years do presentations here at this contest or that contest and realize that they've made it, and you're so proud of them.
I can understand that because I've seen people go through this, and I've also felt the support by others who have been a great support to me.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're all there for. Toastmasters help Toastmasters, and it's an awesome, awesome program.
Greg, I have a note that came in from Diane that says, I can hear you, but you can't hear me. So she's trying to talk. Is there anything we can do? Open her line up?
I think she may not have set an audio pin that had to be put in. I think I just sent her a little note that said, here's the pin. Great job. She found the text ability. She's saying, great job. When is Las Vegas? I know I can look it up. Just wondering. It's in August, and I believe the date is August 13th. But do check and make sure. Matter of fact, I think it's on that slide. Let me back up here a minute.
Actually, I think it starts on the 11th.
Actually, right there it is. It says August 12th through the 15th. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I plan to be there.
Well, you know, I looked at that and I went, there's no closer place right now. 3 years ago was in Orlando, and I went for the first time to just experience it, and it was an interesting experience. And Malaysia was just a little too far away. Vegas, I'm on the way.
Good. Well, I'm hoping that we'll have quite a representation from District 84. Wouldn't that be nice?
I think we should just all charter a plane and go together.
Okay, now she says I can't hear you. Diane and I went with several other of our club members one time to hear Ryan Avery, the youngest world champion of public speaking.
Oh,
I believe he won in 2012. And that was a phenomenal trip, just like going a whole band full of our club members going to these trainings, that the Leadership Institute trainings. There's a bonding that happens when club members travel together or do little excursions together in addition to their meetings. It's a lot of fun, and it really does increase the the relationship among the members. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Whenever you can do things together, even the ride home becomes, I can't believe they did that, or I can't believe they did that, and you really connect with that bond within your group when you find that there's others out there just like you. A little,
Yeah.
it's almost like you feel timid about doing things, but when you feel the camaraderie of what Toastmasters and the next levels up do for you. I did a speech one time that Toastmasters is the only, yeah, you almost hate to say only, but the only group around that the upper levels are doing it all for you. If you looked at the typical structure of a nonprofit organization, you do for the next level does for those, and you move up. Everything at Toastmasters International is helping you become a better speaker and a presenter and a leader. And so essentially it's all done for you.
I think it's the best bang for the buck.
You can't buy leadership and speaking quality any better pricing than what you can with Toastmasters. Well, if there's no other questions, we can just hey, let's all sign off. And believe it or not, I recorded this. Can you believe it?
I'm so glad that you did, because I think it was a wonderful presentation, Greg, and I truly appreciate everything that you've done to put this together. Diane, if you can hear us, and if you have a question that you want to type in or text in, why don't you do that now, and at least you'll be provided the answer. Do you want to do that? All right, and in the meantime, Jane, do you have any more questions or comments for us?
No, I just want to say you need to go to a district conference to get the real feeling of Toastmasters.
Well, I am looking forward to both the spring and the international conference coming up this year.
I second that statement for Jane. Second and third, matter of fact. All right. Well, thank you very much. And Patricia, if you want to close off, then I'll just close the show.
Well, I appreciate you so much, Greg. This was phenomenal, and I tell you, you've got me hooked on this service. I will be using it in the future. So thank you, and thank you, Jane and Diane, for coming to the call as well. Our next mentoring conference call, as you can see on the screen, is on March 9th with Advanced Communicator Bronze, Jesse Kaufman. His topic is about the resources available in Toastmasters. And then our own distinguished Toastmaster, Jane Potter, will be presenting our last call on March 30th. We look forward to that. So, with that, I say thank you again and good night.
Good night.
Good night.